all the noise. Yeah, all the chatter. You know, you get past stuff like your goalie doesn't work. This broken goalie. Bit of a broken goalie. You get past all the defense stuff. What defense stuff? Exactly. When you get past all that, Matthew Knies is a Leaf. Is he a Leaf? Oh, I Googled it. Let's go! Good. We all feel Stop! Good. Never gets rusty. What am I doing? Into my kitchen. Producer Drew, can you fix all this? And when it comes to the Toronto Maple Leafs, you can crumple, yeet. Saw that going differently. With you wherever you are, welcome to LFR. Victory, puppy Ziggy. You want a treat? Here we go. The Joseph Walden Retriever. That's not even what you are. It's a Walden Doodle. It was... I didn't bring another one. I'm sorry. All right, everybody pretend you're seeing this for the first time. You have to catch this. Hey, Victory Puppies, the Walden Doodle! First time. We got it first time. An OT win in Tampa. Man, all of a sudden, I love reruns. Leafs win 4-3 in overtime over the Tampa Bay Lightning. Who are they giving the OT winner to? I got Willie in fantasy, and he has an assist. When did he get an assist? On the OT winner. I think I get more points for a goal. Give him the goal! And if you don't give the goal to him, well, that's JT's second consecutive OT winner in Tampa. Do you remember the last one? Do you remember it? You know what? Mikhail Sergachev has a lot to say. Mikhail, do you remember it? Mikhail, for the class, can you just tell the class? Tampa fans, I love you. Bear with me. I never get to do this, okay? What's that, Mikhail? Huh? Oh, you were too busy talking to realize you were scoring on your own net in overtime? I'm sorry. Let's not interrupt Mikhail. He's doing his thing. Let's talk about this game, gosh darn it. Dude, like, I don't know what's worse for me. I don't know what's worse for my heart health and mental health than October hockey. Like, is October hockey worse than playoff hockey? I'm serious. Here's my theory. Playoff hockey is worse on the heart. That includes your feelings and also just, your pulse, your general heart rate, the amount of blood and the rate that it goes through your body. Medical majors, did I describe that well? I didn't? Okay, sorry. Well, I'll continue. October hockey screws with your mind. And you might be going, Steve, isn't that feelings? No! It's a terrible adjustment period is what it is. Because all throughout the offseason and even during the preseason, you have expectations, theories about the season that are based on hope. That's it. It's just based on hope. You can think about the Edmonton Oilers and how they're going to do heading into the season. But what if Connor McDavid just goes, you know what? I just want to golf all the time. Like, not making a playoff joke like he retires to become a professional golfer. That could happen. It's unlikely. It's unlikely to happen, but it could. The problem with October hockey is it's all of those things, but it's based in reality, but not full concrete reality, just a smidge, just enough reality to screw with you. Like, we've seen the Leafs defense be bad so far this season, and that's a problem. It's a problem because it's a problem, but it's also a problem because I think a lot of us heading into the season were like, doesn't look that good. When the season starts in the first few games, you're like, it's the first few games. Also helps that the Leafs won their first two, and then they lose one, and you're like, oh, you kids. They lose the second one, and it's amazing how fed up you get. Then they're down 3-1 in the first period to a divisional rival, and you're like, that's enough! Screws with your head! Screws with your head! It screws with your heart, too. I'm sure medical students, can you help? But it screws with your head! Now, here's the problem. There's a symptom. There's a symptom that is across many different ailments in hockey. Do I have bad defense-itis? Do I have a deviated need to fire the coach? Do I have acute inflammation of the trade everybody? All of those ailments share one common symptom. Goalie can't stop a beach ball. So you think you have all these things, and maybe the D1, you might have the defense one, but you think you have all these things, and really, it's your goalie can't stop a beach ball. And he was the worst goalie, by far the worst goalie, in a game that featured Jonas Johansson. And even though Jonas Johansson was incredible in this game, do you have him in fantasy? No, you don't. A buddy of mine picked up Matt Tompkins. You're sick. You're sick. All right, now everybody put money down on him winning the Vezina since I said it. Because look, Nylander scores. It's 1-0 Leafs, and we all go, hooray, and we like that. And then Matthew Knies takes a cross-checking penalty. That was a cross-checking penalty. I thought they missed one against Knies a few seconds prior. But it doesn't matter, whatever, cry about it. There's 82 games, and those are gonna happen, and also it was cross-checking. So kill the penalty. Pretty much right away, the Lightning working around a little, goes to Kuchera. Okay. I saw it. No, I saw it. I saw that it was Kucherov. I saw that it was good. Did you see that? I saw that it was good. I know it was Kucherov! And you go, okay, Okay, it's tied. It's tied. It's fine. Not long after, this was the worst defensive play of the game, probably. When the Lightning went up 2-1, do you want to see where they started the shift from? The Lightning win the puck back to themselves, and they break out with it. But still, as they're about to enter the Leaf zone, it's 3-on-4, and this shouldn't be a problem. As the Lightning enter, I'm not behind the Leafs bench. I don't draw up the X's and O's, but I am positive that fusing Tavares and Nylander together is not part of their structure. Here's what's annoying. Like, the Lightning screw this play up. They pass it to Kucherov. He wants the one-timer, but the pass is no good. So he's got to, like, reach out to grab it, but he has all the time in the world because what is this? What is this? I'll tell you what it is. It's a tap-in for Barré-Boulet. And, again, just really good play. Really bad breakdown. Would have been awesome to get a save. I know. Goalies don't like hearing that. Goalies don't like hearing when you tell them to do their job. And I understand that. Listen, I love what I do. It still takes me a while to get out of bed in the morning. But this is the gig, right? This is the gig. There's a reason they call goalies the last line of defense. You are the last line of defense. When your defense screws up, you're all that's left, man. Do you want to limit your mistakes? Yeah. Do you want to sort of figure out whatever the heck this team is doing in their own end? Seriously? Yeah, you do. You need a save. Speaking of saves, that was the third shot and you've only had one save! The third Lightning goal, again, is on the power play, but the call that I can't play in this video because I don't own the rights to it is literally the last power play lasted 16 seconds, scores! Off of the face-off, they were talking about how short the last power play was, and this one was shorter! 3 goals on 4 shots. 3 goals on 4 shots. Listen. Stop having defensive breakdowns, or as many of them, and as bad as they are. Stop taking too many penalties. You're taking too many penalties. You need a save. 2 of them are Nikita Kucherov. That's Nikita Kucherov plays in their division. What do you want? What do you want? That's where he plays. He's not going to play anywhere else. And if he does, they'll just get someone else who makes $9.5 million. So Samsonov comes out of the game. Joseph Woll comes into the game. And I tell you what, Joseph Woll was spectacular, making a bunch of super timely, super athletic saves in situations where there were breakdowns. Do you think goalies should never have to do the splits? I think a perfect defensive game. You're looking at shots against? No. You're looking at chances against? No. Did they have to do the splits? As far as I know, there has never been a game in NHL history that has not featured at least 1 shot against. But I tell you what, if you can limit the shots to, like, I don't know, 25, even 30, but your goalie never has to do the splits, there is a really good chance you win. But apart from the splits, I think my favorite thing that Joseph Woll did in this game was get in front of a puck! And the unfortunate thing about that is, even though Joseph Woll is having a spectacular game, the team in front of them is being stymied by Jonas Johansson having maybe the best game of his life, honestly. I'm sure some of this was score effects, but the Leafs were wildly outshooting Tampa before they were down 3-1. Then they go down 3-1, and they just kind of continue doing it. 52 shots on goal the Leafs had in this game. And it was everything. They were better at zone exits. They were better at scoring chances. They obviously outshot them. Everything the Leafs did was better than what the Lightning did, except the puck did not go in. And when the Leafs start cheating a little bit and they're trying to generate a little bit more offense and they got the line blender out, sometimes the puck is going to go the other way because sometimes you make mistakes, and that is what a goalie is for! And Joseph Woll shut the door! Dude. This is a fast league, and I'm not talking about it like speed, like foot speed. I'm talking about it is 5 games in, and it already feels like a month for some of these guys. Go look at Jay Woodcroft in Edmonton. Go look at his post-game press conference. This guy he's the head coach of a Stanley Cup contending team, and he is talking like a coach who is scared he's going to lose his job tomorrow. And the reason I say that is because we only have a 5-game sample size here, but there's a solid chance, based on what we've seen, that Joseph Woll is the starting goaltender by the end of the month. Like, I'm talking before you go trick-or-treating. I'm serious. It wouldn't even be weird. Like, coaches ride the hot hand. This isn't like a modern development. And the Leafs are trying to generate offense. And despite all my yelling about this team, I think it's super encouraging that whether the Leafs are winning or losing, Austin Matthews is absolutely feral out there. Holy cow, this guy is a maniac the way he's playing. I ran out of air there. but he is playing, honest to goodness, the best hockey of his life, I think, in terms of a 200-foot game. Putting him on the penalty kill has been spectacular, but he's also one player. Even if he's a great player, he's only one player. Other guys have to step it up. So Sheldon Keefe and company, they throw Mitch Marner next to Austin Matthews, obviously, and they put William Nylander there. And that's a good idea, and they do okay. But then you're putting John Tavares with who? Like, this is the drawback of putting the three kids, still call them kids, out there together is, all right, now who's John gonna play with? And if you put JT up there on the left wing or something instead of Willie, all right, well, who's Willie gonna play with? Someone else has to step it up. And no, those guys are not making $11 billion, but someone's got to do it if they're going to have any hope of winning a game. Matthew Knies, he's been playing well. Who's his setup man? That's a finisher. Who's his setup man? Holy cow, Max Domi arrives. Good effort to go into the Lightning zone. None of the stopping and starting and hooking it back and everything. Just barreling through and sending a pass through. Was it the most beautiful pass ever? Should the Lightning have intercepted it? They didn't. And Matthew Knies, who does not have an NHL regular season goal yet, with a Kamehameha beam, nearly put the thing through the net, kid. And the Leafs are within one. And with 5.5 to go, a play that showed no quit. Knies, standing still at the Leafs blue line, fires a pass up the ice to Max Domi. It's really hard. Maybe a little too hard. Domi tries to handle it on his backhand. He loses it. Lightning turn it up the other way. Domi stays with the play. He's chasing the man down, and Morgan Riley intercepts it, so Domi's right there, picks the puck right back up. Knies, in the meantime, has joined the rush. Max Domi is going up there. It's a 2-on-1. He gets Johansson to believe he's going to shoot, passes it over to Knies, and another bullet from his knees! This kid is now up to 3 NHL goals between the regular season and playoffs, and I think he has only been standing and facing the net at the same time for one of them, but I don't care! Matthew Knies has arrived for the Toronto Maple Leafs, and they force overtime. Was it that simple? Did this game simply go to overtime? Nothing happened during 5.5 minutes left in the game? Nothing went wrong? No! But Joseph Woll made saves. Should he have had to make those saves? No. No goalie should ever have to face a shot ever, but stuff happens, man! You need saves! He gave them saves! And I liked it. Then the game goes to overtime, and Lightning fans, I gotta level with you. I'm not even chirping. The Leafs are not great at 3-on-3. They're not. They struggle in that category, and they mopped the Lightning. That's as dominant a 3-on-3 overtime I've seen the Leafs have. They had the puck the whole time. Like, the whole time. They were never really in any danger. Then to end it, Brandon Hagel with just a bagel of a pass. I promise to never rhyme Hagel and bagel again. It's a horrible pass, picked off by John Klingberg. William Nylander brings it in. He passes it. Mikhail Sergachev does hit the puck, and I would love to say that he scored on the Lightning all by himself, but if you look really closely at the replay, John Tavares does get a piece of this thing. He is the rightful scorer of the overtime winner, so John Tavares scores back-to-back OT goals in Tampa. It's the best. Questions from Jamie. Despite the win, when do we start to worry? When do you start to... What day were you born? That's my answer, March 12th, 1988. No, it's a good question because last season they had a very mediocre October, followed by an incredible November, which is weird because the previous season they had a very mediocre October, followed by an incredible November. So I guess the answer is November? But I actually do think there is a bit of an added pressure for this team to kind of get it together quickly. Because, and I feel like we never say this, the Leafs actually have a pretty light schedule to start the season. Like, forget who you're playing. I'm not talking about who's good and who's bad. I'm talking about, like, they don't have any back-to-backs for the first month. Despite their current road trip, they actually play a decent amount of games at home. But then where things get screwy is November 10th and 11th, the Leafs play their first back-to-back of the entire season. And then they go to freaking Sweden, dude! Like, I don't even know if Leaf fans know that yet. Like, the Leafs are playing 2 regular season games in Sweden. November 17th and 19th. One is against Detroit and one is against Minnesota. By the way, they are also going to Sweden. So is Ottawa, and for some reason the Leafs aren't playing them. Having Sundin and Alfredsson both drop the ceremonial puck was right there. Anyway, the Leafs play a game on November 11th, then they play 2 in Sweden, and then their next game in North America isn't until November 24th. That can screw with your season a little bit. So if you're looking for a time you should hope that they have it figured out by, then have it figured out before then. Joseph Woll and Matthew Knies are my favorite Leafs prospects in ages. What did you think of them tonight? They were both spectacular. They both found a way. You know what I mean? Matthew Knies was not with the team's stars. He wasn't even paired up with a player who's been playing well at all, or confidently even. On the broadcast, they were analyzing look, his feet aren't moving. They weren't even oh, he's not getting shots. His feet aren't moving. We get blinded by the last name Domi, and he is tough. He's a tough nut, and he can fight guys, and he can hit guys. He's a playmaker. He's not his old man. That's a playmaker. You gotta give him a finisher. And listen, dude, I don't know if putting Domi back up in the top 6 makes sense, but you gotta find a way to keep those two together. As for Joseph Woll, what else do you want? He came into that game cold, which is unfortunate, but it's the backup goalie's job. And he made a bunch of saves and a bunch of really good saves and looked confident and structured while doing it. Samsonov is all over the place right now. And he's kind of all over the place at the best of times, but when he's really fighting it, oh my gosh, it doesn't even look like his equipment fits. Joseph Woll is in there like the Terminator. I love it. This is a fascinating one. Leafs put up 54 shots against, you know what's funny? I think it was actually more. Leafs put up 54 shots against the Tampa Bay Lightning team without the best goalie in the league, and they still needed an OT to win. This is a W that feels like an L. What's the focus in practice tomorrow as the Leafs prep for Washington on Tuesday? Well, first of all, not taking Washington lightly, even though Washington has low-key been awful. But man, I know the speed of the game has picked up. It's the regular season and everything, but I feel like the Leafs need to simplify things at practice because they look so overwhelmed by the most mundane situations in game time, and it leads to big breakdowns. Frank Corrado, I thought, did a good breakdown of one of the goals that the Leafs allowed in oh my God, who was their 4th game even against? It doesn't matter. That's how fast the season goes, man. Panthers! It was against the Panthers. And it's little mistake leads to this, leads to this, leads to this. It's a snowball rolling downhill that's a boulder by the time it gets to the bottom. But honestly, beyond simplification, a lot of it's confidence. Max Domi, I know he's not one of the stars in this team, but he wants to be here a long time. And he knows he hasn't had a good start. And he's not skating. And nothing's working, and it's affecting his game. It made him nearly unusable at times. Remember last video, I was Max Domi had 56 points last season and 13 points in 19 playoff games. How did that even happen? That is how it happened. He's a sick passer, an excellent playmaker, but he had it wasn't working for him. It wasn't working for him. Nothing was working. And what got him going? A solid effort followed by a pass that happened to get through the Lightning, and then Knies fires a bullet. Hey, all of a sudden, I feel like $1 million. And then his next assist was a lot better, and all of a sudden it looks like he shot out of a cannon. A bunch of it is structure. I think a lot of it is confidence, and I don't think the Leafs D-core has any. Jake McCabe, you can tell from his body language, is fighting it so hard. To the point where it looked like in the first period, the Leafs were making an effort to get him one. He was trying to score. So what do they do to prep for Washington? Celebrate the win, have an attentive practice, rest up. So that is it for this one. Thank you very much for watching. Click like if you like this video. Click subscribe if you really liked it. Tell all your friends. Nice to meet you. You're not just another brick in the wall. They took it to the max. They got a goal from John Tavares. I'm ending the video.